Imagine waking up tomorrow morning. You open your eyes, and hundreds of people in military uniforms are standing around your bed. They're bowing, crying tears of joy just to see you, shouting, "Great leader!" You stumble to the mirror. You look different. Puffy cheeks, strange suit, a haircut you definitely didn't ask for. You've become Kim Jong Un, the supreme leader of North Korea, the most isolated, mysterious, and terrifying country on Earth. What do you do first? Launch a missile, eat whatever you want, cancel the army, or try to escape? Today, we're running an experiment. We're putting you inside the body of North Korea's dictator for exactly 24 hours. You'll learn what it's really like to be a man whose portraits hang in every home, whose name is whispered with fear and worship. Spoiler: power isn't just yachts and banquets. Sometimes it's loneliness and paranoia. Let's go. 7 a.m. Your residence in Pyongyang. You open your eyes. The first thing you notice is the smell. Expensive food. Breakfast is already prepared, and you haven't even gotten out of bed yet. People are standing around you. They're not just waiting, they die for you. If you cough, doctors lose their jobs. If you frown, someone gets sent to a labor camp. You get out of bed. The bed is the size of your entire apartment. Silk sheets, gold faucets in the bathroom. But there's a problem. You can't just go to the bathroom like a normal person. They're watching, recording, analyzing. In North Korea, there's a myth that the leader doesn't poop, that he's superhuman, that his body doesn't work like everyone else's. You realize even your own body is now a state secret. 7:30 a.m. Breakfast. They bring you 30 dishes: fish, meat, rice, soups, desserts, the best of everything. But you can't eat it all, that would be undignified. You have to leave half, so the servants think you're above food. You remember that regular people in North Korea eat corn and rice, sometimes without oil, sometimes with nothing. And here, you are with lobster and caviar for breakfast. You feel a twinge of guilt. No, because you're already starting to get used to it. 8 a.m. Going outside. You leave the palace. You thought people would just wave. No. Thousands of people are lined up along the road. They're crying, waving flowers, screaming so loud your ears hurt. You wave your hand. One wave, 10 people faint from happiness. You wave again, women burst into tears. This is called a personality cult, and it works differently than you thought. In North Korea, they don't just respect the leader, they worship him. Kids in school are told that Kim Il-sung the founder walked on water, that he created weapons from twigs, that he could control the weather. Now that myth applies to you. You're not human. You're a god. 8:30 a.m. Driving through the city. You drive through Pyongyang. The city is clean, beautiful. Huge skyscrapers, wide avenues, parks. Tourists say Pyongyang looks futuristic, clean streets, orderly traffic, no garbage. But you know what the tourists don't see? Behind those pretty facades, control, cameras, neighbors watching neighbors. Inminban neighborhood watch groups where everyone informs on everyone. You realize you're not just a ruler, you're the head guard of a prison called a country. 10 a.m. State Council meeting. You walk into the office. Piles of paper on your desk. You have to sign decrees, approve laws, decide who gets a bonus and who gets re-educated. You look at the officials. They're shaking. Literally. Their hands tremble when they hand you documents. Why? Because the last department head was executed for looking at the leader wrong. You understand now. There are no friends around you, only subordinates who are terrified, and enemies waiting for you to make a mistake. 11 a.m. Military parade rehearsal. They show you missiles. Huge, terrifying, intercontinental missiles. Generals report, "Comrade, we can destroy America." You nod, but inside, you're cold. In North Korea, The army isn't just defense. It's priority number one. Millions of soldiers. Defense spending through the roof. While people starve, rockets fly into space. But if you cut the army, the military will overthrow you. You're trapped. 1 p.m. Lunch with family. You sit with your wife, Risolju, and kids. You eat normal food. Well, almost normal. Korean food. They serve kimchi, spicy cabbage. Served at every meal, pork, rice. It all looks good. But you notice your wife barely eats. She's nervous. Because even here, in the dining room, there are cameras. Even family can't relax. You remember that the previous leader, Kim Jong Un, was terrified of flying. He traveled by train because he was afraid of assassination. You're starting to understand. Power is a golden cage. 3 p.m. Visiting Songdaeon Children's Camp. You go to North Korea's main children's camp. It's like a North Korean version of a fancy summer camp, but with a twist. They show you kids. They play soccer, swim, shoot arrows. The camp has an oceanarium, a 4D cinema, a climbing wall. It looks amazing. You read a slogan on the wall. Children are the kings of the country. And it's true. In North Korea, kids get a lot. Free education, free extracurriculars. Every child learns to musical instruments. Every student gets a uniform from the state. But there's a dark side. From age 5, kids are taught to work. They labor in fields, build roads, chop wood, 8 to 10 hours a day. If they don't meet quotas, fines. Punishment. From age 10, they join the Korean Children's Union. There, they're taught to hate America, draw posters of the leaders, and march in parades with toy rockets. You realize, these kids are hostages. They'll never see Mickey Mouse, never hear K-pop, never know the world could be different. For trying to watch a Western cartoon execution, you want to change something, but 6 p.m. Evening, alone in your office, you pull out your phone, try to open Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Nothing works. You have your own internet. Pyongyang, the North Korean network. Nothing but state websites, textbooks, and patriotic songs. You get angry. You're the president. Why can't you watch cat videos? But then you remember, if people had free internet, the regime would collapse in a week. Information is scarier than missiles. You're the leader, but you're also cut off from the world. You're also in a cage. 9 p.m. Night. Silence. You try to sleep, but you can't. Every creak sounds like a gunshot. Every shadow looks like an assassin. You remember how Kim Jong Un executed his own uncle, Jang Sung-theek, 2013. Because he got too popular. You think, who wants to kill me? The defense minister, a general, the guy next door. You get up, walk to the window. Outside dark Pyongyang. Not one light on. Curfew. Everyone's asleep. Except the people guarding you. And the people watching the guards. You understand. You can trust no one. 11 p.m. You read secret reports. They bring you documents. Real numbers. Behind pretty Pyongyang provinces where people survive. Where there's no electricity. Where they eat corn porridge 3 times a day. Where kids are sick because there are no medicines. You want to help. Give money. Build hospitals. But the system won't let you. Because if you give people freedom, they'll want more. If you give money, officials will steal it. You're in agony. You're the president. But you're powerless to change the system that made you. 11:50 p.m. 10 minutes left of your rule. You stand in front of the mirror. You can do anything. Option A. Launch a nuclear missile for fun. But then war. Option B. Go on TV and tell the truth. You're free. But then your own people kill you. Option C. Escape. Helicopter. China. Russia. Anywhere. But where do you go with Kim Jong Un's face? You choose. Nothing. Because in 24 hours, you learn the main lesson. Power in North Korea isn't about want. It's about must. You must be a god. You must be strong. You must be cruel, or everything collapses. 12 a.m. Experiment over. You open your eyes. You're in your room. Your phone is next to you with internet. In your fridge, food you bought yourself. You go to the bathroom. Just because. Nobody's recording. You open YouTube. Watch cat videos. You go outside. People don't bow. Don't cry. Don't scream. They just walk, living their lives. And you understand what a gift it is to be nobody, to be ordinary, to be allowed to make mistakes, to laugh, to not smile if you don't feel like it. North Korea is back there at 4 a.m. and you're here, free. What did we learn? In 24 hours inside a dictator's skin, you learned 3 things. 1. Power is loneliness. The higher you sit, the fewer people you can trust. 2. The system is stronger than the person. Even a dictator can't do everything. He's part of a machine that grinds everyone. 3. Freedom is a luxury. The ability to say what you think, eat where you want, watch what you want. That's not a given. It's a privilege. Cherish it. Now, a question for you. How long would you last as North Korea's leader? A day? A week? A year? Write it in the comments. I'm genuinely curious. And if you want the next part, maybe you as president of the USA, or Russia, or even the CEO of a giant company, hit that like button. At 1,000 likes, I'm putting you in the White House. Subscribe so you don't miss the next trip inside someone else's skin. And remember, sometimes it's good to just be yourself.